JackyOh's dad pulls up to DC Young Fly and rush to the hospital to get the footage. To find out what happened, watch this whole video and subscribe to the channel.
Oh, literally, you guys were trying to figure it out. But any questions you have?
We know we're live. We're just testing it. My cousin already told me we're already live. We're practicing. We're not going really live until 8 p.m.
Francis said, Jose, she knows.
That's my cousin and my sister. So you're already live.
So we're going to go through all your guys' questions and stuff in literally 20 minutes. It's 7:40 right now. 20 minutes. You know, people getting off work on the West Coast. People on the East Coast are probably hanging out, gonna go out. So while y'all finna go out, go put some questions.
Yes, I can see your questions
right here. Will we see them later?
Oh yeah, so you guys can just ask the questions on the live.
You can ask the questions on the live, or you can put it in our questions just in case we skip it and don't see it.
Well, always no, not like I meant like put the question in the question box on the live.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna ask the questions, and if you want your question answered, then you gotta put some money on the badge.
Ooh, that's a good one. If you want us to
So JackyOh's dad and DC Young Fly are trying to get the footage together because they talked to the family, and the family want them to go to all the different places that JackyOh was at and get a copy of all the security and surveillance footage from that day, because they want to start their own investigation to get the justice for Jackie. Just due to the fact that it's a lot of things that aren't adding up in this whole thing, and everybody is seeing that it could be a setup that happened. And the fact that JackyOh was there alone and nobody was there to help her makes it even more of a worse situation, because due to the fact that when she went to the surgery center place, people were saying that it was one person with her, like a girl. It could have been her friend or something like that, and her friend had a boyfriend with her. So people are saying that allegedly it's two people that were with her early in the day, right before the surgery started. Now, in the middle of the surgery, they could have upped and just left. Maybe they had something else to do. Maybe they got bored, or maybe they just immediately just turned their back on Jackie. You don't know, because it's alleged. Now, the thing is the fact that how is it that those two people end up leaving and then we don't see who it is that takes JackyOh to the hotel room? It could have been an Uber. It could have been somebody else, maybe somebody that JackyOh knows, or maybe somebody that was from the friend that was there earlier. That still could have been them taking her into the hotel. But the thing is that there's no footage of her going into there. And if they end up saying it's missing or something like that, or that they can't find it or play it, or something went wrong with the camera, then that's how you know that it could be even more likely that this whole thing was a setup. Because you got to understand that JackyOh was supposed to be there for a quick turnaround mission. It was like a fast thing, because she just had business to do and was just gonna, as soon as she touched down, she was gonna go to the places she needed to go to and everything. But the thing was that they were supposed to give her the recovery room so that she could be in there. Most places, they're going to have the side rooms, the extra rooms, where it could be 3 to 4 people in there who's recovering from all sorts. So they could be recovering from the dental work, from getting veneers. They could be recovering from the hair transplant BBLs, the regular BBLs, the mommy makeover. It's supposed to be a room on side of the offices from the doctor's place where the people can go and they basically will like sleep there and get their vitals checked up on. They'll eat and watch TV until all the stuff from the surgery, like the side effects, go away, and that they know that they're good to be released. Most of the time, in the places that have a 5-star rating and that they're known for being good at their work, that's what they do. They have that break room where they have everybody at after the surgery so that they can recover and they can keep an eye on them without having to check them out and actually dismiss them from the place. Then they on their own if that happens. But the thing is that the place that JackyOh went to, it had a 1-star review. The Dr. Zach, his whole place had a 1-star review. And so they didn't have the rooms where people could go into so that they could keep an eye on them and closely monitor them, give them water, and make sure that they stretch and take all the medicine they're supposed to take, because the fact that they didn't have the recovery rooms in that place is pretty much the reason why it has a 1-star rating, because there's a lot of things that they could have did and added to it that never was. And other places that you would go to, they would have did that for free automatically. And so that's why DC Young Fly and the whole family of Jackie is looking at this like, okay, they need to get the footage from the surgery place, because they need to figure out if they even offered her or if they even like looked at her before letting her go out the door, because they might have released her way too soon and way too quick. Because if the things came back from the complications, then they knew for a fact that it was going to take the next 3 to 4 hours that they were supposed to keep a close eye on her, because that's the amount of time and the greatest chances of something happening right after you get out of the mommy makeover surgery, is that the next few hours is going to be where all the swelling could happen, where you could lose a lot of the dehydration if you out in the Miami heat and you sweating, you know, everything like that. It gets humid out there. And just basically, she could be all looped up from the anesthesia and the laughing gas, and they could have just had her in a position where they just let her out into the world where she wasn't ready. Because obviously, if she went to the hotel and fell out, then she could have stayed at the doctor place a little bit longer around the doctor, so that they could have put the IV in her and got her back to stable condition so that she could actually get out, call her ride and everything like that. But it happened too fast and too soon. And so as soon as she got out and got into the Uber and they took her to the hotel place, the people wasn't even paying attention at the lobby to figure out like who was with JackyOh and everything like that. And there was people walking downstairs, but no one ever really looked or turned around and looked around to see who was there and who was with her and who was going upstairs with her and everything like that. So the people missed her by half a second. And when they release the footage, they're going to end up seeing the person, but it could be at the corner of the camera where they get out of frame and you might not be able to see him again until the end of the hallway. By the time that the butler and the room service people came knocking on JackyOh's door, it was no answers. That was the first sign of something that had went wrong. Usually, most of the time when people order the room service or they get something taken up to their room, they're going to answer the door. It's like, what would happen in between the time that they call for the water and the people get to the door? What happened in that amount of time where JackyOh might have fell out and couldn't actually come to the door to answer, because she could have been trying to order water as soon as she got into that place. The number one thing that they tell you to do when they are releasing you back outside is they tell you to drink plenty of water and get a lot of sleep and rest, so that it doesn't cause any type of thing and you walking and stressing on whatever it is that you just got fixed up. And so this is the reason why that a lot of people think that she might have been in there for a long time, is because if they came and they were supposed to drop off the room service, the water, or the fresh towels, or whatever it was, and they knocked on the door and they didn't hear an answer, why didn't they go and get the maintenance person to get the keys, the master key, to open the door then? They waited and waited and waited until people were knocking on the door the third or the fourth time. And maybe that's when, after it was a long time and it was like 10 p.m. at night, that's when they were like, okay, we've been knocking on this door all day and we ain't had no answer, no type of movement. We don't even hear anybody in there changing the TV channels or nothing. And so when they sent the drone up from the outside to look into the window, and they realized the person was laying on the ground, like they wasn't even asleep or nothing. It looked like they had fell over. And then that's when they were like, okay, we have to breach the door and get into the entry, because we have to save the person on the other side. We've been knocking on the door. We know that they might have had some complications coming from another place, and they have to make sure that if she's inside of their building, that they have to do everything they can to make sure to protect or make sure it's a safety, or else that could come back on them saying that they didn't do enough. So then that's when they said that it was at 11 p.m. when they went into JackyOh's room. They went into JackyOh's room. They seen everything was a mess. It looked like it was a struggle. Things were falling on the ground. The bags were all over the place, like somebody was looking through the bags trying to find something. The safe was wide open. It looked like nothing was in the safe at all. So whatever was in the safe, somebody might have took it. And there were people saying that the promo, it was free for them to give to her, but they still had to pay her for her time. And so she could have been walking around with $20,000, $40,000 in cash, and maybe that was one of the things that could have been targeted, especially when the fact that we know that people target celebrities, and if they known to if somebody had posted or leaked any type of thing saying that she had the cash on her. Now everything is alleged, and so now when we look at it even more, you have to understand that 11 p.m. when they went into the room and they had to figure out, okay, she's definitely not just asleep. This had to have been something from the previous places. And when they seen that, it was a lot of phone calls coming in. People was trying to call JackyOh until the fact that her phone basically had ran out of battery. And so they were trying to get a hold of her all day. And that's the thing, is that how is it that JackyOh didn't have any phone calls that were answered, but they knew where she was? And so this is the reason why that they have to go back and look, because if they don't have where is the phone right now? They never said anything about JackyOh's phone. JackyOh's phone could have been found in the bushes on the side of the hotel. Like, there's a lot of things here that they're not telling us that's getting swept under the rug. A lot of people have to realize, like, what happened to the bags, because when they got out, you never see nobody taking her bags and putting it down. So they collected everything to dust and try to find any type of DNA that could be in there, because they're still looking. They haven't announced that there's a suspect, but that they're looking for somebody, because somebody had to have been up there. There's no reason why that door could be locked, but somebody was able to get in anyways. So when DC Young Fly and JackyOh's dad went up there, then they went up to the room and they said, the last time that they saw her was when she came back in from the BBL and had the breakfast. And ever since then, there's been the food cart, the maid's cart was left in the hallway the whole entire time. And so nobody came to get it back or to retrieve it. And by the time that they did, to get it at the end of the night, because the shift change was happening, that's when they came and realized that they had to get the manager to let the people in the room at 11 p.m. just so that they could do the welfare check on JackyOh. If somebody else would have been there, man, they could have ran down to the lobby and got immediate help that was just right down the road, because you know that the paramedics and all of them, they be parking right down the road and staying right there in the areas where they could have got there a lot quicker and they could have saved JackyOh. This is an important thing, you guys, about how you got to be there with another person at least, because there's no reason JackyOh should have been left alone there. There's no reason JackyOh would be going to Miami when she doesn't live there and is about to do this whole operation and everything like that, and nobody stays in the hotel with her. I mean, I get that somebody could have dropped her off, and people said that they seen her with a friend and this and that. Some people are saying a sister, some people are saying friend, some people are saying just another person. And so this is why, if they left her and they didn't go to the hotel with her, then it must not have been, they must not have cared enough to want to be around to protect her. And so this is the reason why you have to watch out for who you got around you, who you keep around you, because you can't really trust anybody when you expecting people to be there waiting for you until you get done with something so that they could take you back to somewhere else and chill with you, even though you come in to visit them and you ask them for help to come and take you through the city so you could get some things done. But then they end up, anytime, people say, oh yeah, I got to run over here real quick and I'll be right back. Or I got to run up the street real quick, I'll be right back. And they leave you where they're at and they don't return. Or maybe they come back super late or they try to call you. By the time that they came back, man, it was already too late. Jackie had found a whole nother ride, got a whole different Uber and everything like that. So she actually kind of got left in the dust by whoever it was that dropped her off first, because the people say that they have no recollection of whoever it was that took her to the medical center, taking her to the hotel. I don't have any connection to it, because they have nothing saying that those were the same people. They can't see behind the tent like that. it's in Florida. It's sunny every day, so people have the tent. So you couldn't really see who was behind the windows of the dark SUV. And a lot of the times, the people who was not paying attention, clearly, like, they don't even know the difference between one type of car and another type of car. Like, so whenever they see something, it could be two different SUVs and they just think it's the same car. It could be two of the same cars, and just because they have different colors or different years, they think they two different type of ones. They don't even know the brand. And so they should have had the right people there working so that they could have better identified and kept a good eye to the surroundings, so that they might have been able to catch who was coming in and out of the places with JackyOh. Because at the end of the day, man, this should have never happened, and we don't wish none of this to happen on nobody. And I want to send my condolences to JackyOh, because we all gotta let it be known. If you a fan of JackyOh, go in the comment section right now. If you rocking with JackyOh, if you support, you want to get justice for JackyOh, let us know in the comment section right now, because you got to understand that it's a very tough time for DC Young Fly and the family. They just went through the funeral thing. They had to figure out all of this, and they're basically left on the hook for putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. All lines of communication was breached between JackyOh and the outside world, and it was cut off. So basically, they couldn't get a hold of her. A lot of people tried to call her. They were telling everybody to call her. Like, DC Young Fly called her. He couldn't get a hold of her, so he tells somebody else to call her, and nobody's getting a hold of her. That's when they realized that they got to get down to Miami as soon as they can before, the bad news beats home. And this is a major reason why a lot of people feel like, okay, they should have talked to Jackie and sat her down and had a plan of what type of security was going to go with her, who was going to go with her, like, even if it was DC Young Fly cousin or somebody. That way they would have had somebody to be able to watch her back and have their word versus, what they're saying happen. And so that we could get the justice for JackyOh, because a lot of the stuff, man, people are looking at it, they listening and they watching, and they seeing that some of the things aren't adding up. So they trying to figure out, man, what really happened out there, man. You got to pay attention and open your eyes and really look at the facts of what's going on, man. Come back for some more updates and subscribe to the channel.